Imagine you're juggling your budget, trying to balance buying groceries with paying the rent, and also maybe going for a fun night out. It's all about having enough money to live now, but also planning for the future, right? Well, in the wild, animals do something very similar, except with their energy and not with money, because animals don't actually have money. From a tiny mouse to a giant elephant, they all need to figure out how to balance their energy between different activities like finding food, just simply surviving through the day, and then also enough energy to eventually reproduce. Mammal moms, this job is especially hard. When a mammal mother is pregnant or producing milk, the energy costs shoot through the roof. It becomes really important for mammalian mothers to balance their own energy requirements with that of their demanding and growing young. If you're a mother bat, this job is especially hard because there are certain aspects as a bat mother that makes life really challenging. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of BiteScized Science you can sink your teeth into. I'm your host, Dr. Mariëtte van der Walt, and today we're diving into the fascinating world of bats and their unique reproductive challenges. Bat moms have some pretty clever strategies when balancing their own needs with those of their babies. Those strategies is called the energy compensation hypothesis. What is energy compensation, and how do bat moms use it? Today's illustrations feature the Natal long-fingered bat, which is one of my favorite bat species, probably because I studied them during my PhD. Let's get started.